They snapped the handcuffs on me before I could finish my sentence. Cold metal biting into my wrists while people slowed down on the sidewalk and stared like they'd stumbled onto a scene they weren't supposed to see. And in that moment, I remember thinking, wow, this is really happening. Yeah, that happened right in front of the courthouse where I was supposed to be presiding in less than an hour. To them, I wasn't a judge, I wasn't authority, I wasn't even a person worth listening to, I was just another black woman who didn't know her place. And if you've ever felt that before, you already know how heavy that realization lands in your chest. It was a Thursday morning in Eastwood County, hot already, the kind of sticky heat that messes with your hair and your patience at the same time. There was a big trial that day, cameras everywhere, out front, police misconduct case, emotions running high, the whole city watching. I came in through the side entrance like I usually do, coffee in one hand, tote bag, digging into my shoulder phone, buzzing nonstop with last-minute filings. I was running a little late, nothing dramatic, just life. I'd done this walk 100 times. Usually the deputies at the door would nod, smile, say, "Morning, Judge." That morning, 2 city cops were standing there instead. One of them was big, thick neck arms crossed, the kind of guy who takes up space on purpose. The other was younger, jittery, trying to look tougher than he felt. I walked up, and before I even got close, the big one barked, "Hold it." I stopped, still, polite, still calm. "Good morning, officer. I'm heading inside." He looked me up and down, the coffee stain on my blazer, my hair already frizzing, no robe, no badge visible. I could see it in his eyes, that quick calculation where he decided I didn't fit his picture of authority. "Employee entrance only," he said. "Public entrance is around front." I told him I worked there. He demanded a badge. I reached into my bag, papers, cables, pens, all tangled, and yeah, I pulled out the wrong ID, an old bar card from my attorney days. Expired. He snatched it out of my hand like he'd caught me in a lie. "This says lawyer," he said. "You just lied to me." I told him I'd been an attorney before I was appointed, told him to call the clerk, told him my name was on the docket, told him to check the directory 10 feet behind him. He laughed, actually laughed, loud enough that people turned their heads. He tossed the card back at me, and it hit my chest and fell onto the concrete. Pick it up and leave. And something in me snapped. Not loud, not dramatic, just that quiet line you cross when you realize being polite isn't protecting you anymore. I told him he was obstructing a judicial officer. I took 1 step forward. That's all it took. His hand clamped around my arm so hard it shocked me. The younger officer reached for his baton. I told him not to touch me. He twisted my arm behind my back like I weighed nothing. Pain shot through my shoulder. He said I was under arrest. I asked for what? He rattled off charges like a script resisting disorderly failure to obey. My bag slid off my shoulder, papers everywhere, phone clattering onto the pavement. He shoved me against the hood of a patrol car, metal hot against my cheek, and the cuffs clicked tight. Too tight. I heard someone whisper, "Isn't that Judge Brooks?" He told them to mind their business. You know what I mean. That moment where the world splits in two, one part of you screaming, "This is insane," the other part already filing it away because, deep down this isn't going to end the way they think it is. They didn't take me to the station. He decided it would be easier to dump me inside the courthouse, process me later, avoid the cameras. When I heard that something strange happened, the fear drained out of me and was replaced by focus, sharp and cold. They were taking me exactly where I needed to be. I stopped struggling. "Fine," I said. "Take me inside." They dragged me down the hallway, one of my shoes slipping off. I didn't ask for it. Lawyers stopped mid-sentence when they saw me. A security guard I'd known for years recognized me, instantly went pale, started to stand. I caught his eye and gave the tiniest shake of my head. "Don't stop them. Let them finish." They shoved me into Holding B, the small concrete cell connected to my courtroom, and mocked me while they did it. I sat up straight despite the cuffs cutting into my wrists and asked for their badge numbers. The big one scoffed, but gave it. The younger one followed, voice shaking. I thanked them. They laughed and walked away. At 8:55 a.m., I stood up, turned my back to the door that leads into the courtroom, twisted the handle and felt it click open. When I stepped through, the room went dead silent. The gallery was packed. Reporters, families, attorneys. The bailiff froze like he'd seen a ghost. I walked forward, hair messy, one shoe, missing hands cuffed behind my back. You could feel the air get sucked out of the room. I told the bailiff calmly that I appeared to have been detained. He rushed toward me, reaching for the cuffs, and I stopped him. "Number. Leave them." I stood in front of the bench and said there was a preliminary matter regarding the unlawful arrest of a judicial officer. Cameras started flashing. I ordered the arresting officers brought into the courtroom immediately, and I made one thing very clear. Don't tell them who the judge is. They came in, annoyed, confident, scanning the room for the bench, and then their eyes landed on me. I watched the color drain out of the big one's face when he saw the sign on the bench with my name on it. He whispered, "Oh." I told them to take a seat. The silence was thick, like everyone was holding their breath at once. I had them sworn in. I asked them step by step why they refused to verify my identity, why they escalated, why they dismissed my explanation. The younger officer admitted he suggested calling it in. The big one said he didn't care. Those words hung in the air longer than anything else. I ordered him to unlock my cuffs. His hands shook so badly it took him 3 tries. When they came off, I held my wrists up so he could see the red marks. "That is your work today," I told him. I dismissed him from the courtroom but ordered him not to leave the building. I called a recess so I could put on my robe and find another shoe. By the time I stepped back out, the video of my arrest was everywhere. Millions of views. People arguing in the comments about whether I deserved it, whether I should have identified myself better, whether I was playing the race card. You know how it goes. The trial we were there for never recovered. The case hinged on that officer's credibility, and he had destroyed it himself on camera for the whole world to see. Evidence suppressed. Case dismissed. Cheers from one side of the room, tears from the other. Justice is messy like that. He was fired weeks later, pension gone, lawsuits followed. The younger officer kept his job but was pulled off the street. And me, I became something I never asked to be. A symbol. I got threats, I got pressure, I got told to apologize, to smooth things over, to make peace for the good of the system. I didn't. Years later, I saw him again. Different setting. Small diner. He was mopping floors, older, thinner, broken down in a way I almost didn't recognize. He blamed me, said I ruined his life over a pair of handcuffs. I told him the truth. I didn't ruin your life. I just stopped you from ruining other people's. I walked out into the rain feeling no triumph, no gloating, just a quiet sense of balance restored even if the questions still lingered. And that's the part I want to leave you with. Was justice served that day, or was it just karma catching up? Should I have stopped it sooner, or was letting it play out the only way the truth could surface? How many people get treated that way and never get the chance to step through the other door into a courtroom full of witnesses? I want to hear what you think. Drop it in the comments. Argue with me if you want. Share your own story if you've got one. And if this made you uncomfortable, good. That usually means it mattered.